One man's trash is another man's treasure, a quote that we've probably all heard at some point. College students every year on average produce waste weighing up to 640 pounds. That's equivalent to a large vending machine. Now, it is unlikely that any college student thinks college is cheap, and many college students who are freshmen and lived in a dorm have moved out of the dorm, and they've seen the amount of waste that's produced from move-out day, where people throw everything away that doesn't fit in their cars simply because no one cares to take it home. Students usually flee quickly after exams, leaving everything behind that doesn't fit in mom and dad's minifamily. That's a quote from Michael Corman on an article he wrote about USC's program to reduce waste at their college campus, and they had some remarkable results. In their first year that they operated, they saved $40,000 in waste removal costs. They collected 89 tons of furniture and 138 tons of waste, reusable waste, total, which is equivalent to about 70 times the weight of the average minivan. So, we believe that KU will benefit from a KU thrift store, one that is exclusive to students, where students can come and buy necessities, such as furniture, school supplies, clothing, anything that gets left behind on move-out day will be the inventory for the thrift store. It'll be ran by students, and the proceeds will go towards keeping the thrift store running and student programs. We call this our for students, from students, by students model, because it's a thrift store for the students, it's stocked with items from students, and it's ran by students. Now, just give you a little preview of how we're going to go over how we're going to use your grant money to operate this thrift store and benefit the university and the students. We're going to talk about it in about 5 segments: waste, bookstore prices, cost of college, out-of-state benefit, and solutions. We're going to start by talking about the waste aspect of these problems in depth.
Campuses of universities across the nation produce incredible amounts of waste, especially during move-out. Planet Aid, a worldwide nonprofit that recycles 100 tons of clothes and shoes every year, reports that of the 640 tons that the average college student produces, 230 pounds of that comes from move-out. Let's look at that on a broader scale. Tufts University reports that of the 230 tons that their campus wastes as a whole throughout the year, 50 tons of that comes just from move-out. These stats are similar at other universities across the nation too. That means that over 25% of waste produced on college campuses comes just from move-out. And it's not just packaging and simple trash that you guys might be thinking of right now. Most of it comes from inconvenient items that students can't fit in their car, they have no need for back home, etc. These are items such as school supplies, desks, couches, TVs, etc. And the reason why they get wasted is because the easiest way for students to get rid of them is to just throw them in the dumpster and not have to deal with it. However, these items are very useful to other students if they were to be recycled. The problem, however, is that it is inconvenient for students to recycle these items. According to the Huffington Post, the top 3 reasons why people do not recycle is inconvenience, time consumption, and simply forgetfulness. These 3 reasons are generally applicable to the lives of college students that are often fast and busy. If there is an easy source of recycling provided to students, a big impact could be made by those students recycling. Not only is there a waste issue present on college campuses across the nation, but financial issues also surround the lives of college students.
So one of the main issues that students face when looking for school supplies is that prices at the KU bookstore are significantly higher than prices of competitors like Walmart or Target. As you can see, the same notebook at the KU bookstore costs $8.99, while from Target it would be $4.29, and from Walmart it would be $5.21. So this price difference causes students to do one of 2 things. One would be that they either don't buy from the bookstore and buy from competitors like Walmart or Target. I did an interview with a KU sophomore, Brenna Harsh, and asked her what she thought about the prices at the KU bookstore. And she said that if she can help it, she tries to not buy from the bookstore because she knows that the prices of the supplies are a lot higher than she could get it somewhere else. And what this does is it causes the KU bookstore to lose income that they would be gaining if their prices were lower. And then the second thing that students tend to do if the prices are too high is skip buying school supplies altogether. An article from the Huffington Post quoted that 48% of students will skip buying school supplies if the prices are too high. And this, once again, just causes a loss of revenue for KU. According to the KU bookstore, all revenue that they make is funneled back into student programs, and they're the only bookstore giving back to KU. So if student programs, or if money isn't going into the bookstore, then student programs are losing funding, which is an issue for students. And then another problem that students face is the lack of dorm room essentials on campus. The bookstore does not offer items like mini fridges, microwaves, or furniture for dorms that students need. And also, these items can be really, really pricey at competing stores. So that just makes it even harder for students financially. And then in addition to bookstore prices being too high, students also have to keep up with the rising cost of living in college, which makes it even more difficult for them financially.
As you can see, this is what a normal average college student spends every single year. Tuition and fees 40%, room and board 45%, book supplies and 5%, transportation 3%, miscellaneous 7%. With tuition and fees with increasing every single year, it's becoming harder for college students to get afford stuff in their room, buy book supplies. Transportation's usually cut off in college, but some college students really need that. Miscellaneous is anything that not covered in there. So here's a bar graph of the increase of public out-of-state, public in-state tuition throughout the years. As you can see, public out-of-state tuition has increased tenfold from 1997, and it's been slowly increasing since 27 for in-state. And with these increases, it's becoming harder for college students to afford college necessities that they desperately need. So this is a desk and a couch. At Target, it costs $350 for the couch and $400 for the table. And these are two things that a dorm desperately needs usually: a couch to sit on and a desk to put your stuff on, and that's $750 right there for two items. And with and this is Ellsworth. I lived there last year, so I know what needs to go into it. Couch, desk, TV, crates, chairs, tables, and with all this stuff, it is an insane amount of money to be spending with college tuition increasing. And with all this affording in-state tuition, out-of-state tuition, it makes it incredibly hard to afford college necessities.
So, as you can see, Kansas is such a small portion of the United States, but the majority of students who attend are in-state. Of all the students who attend, over 15,000 are in-state, while less than 10,000 are out-of-state, and that difference is around the price. I mean, on the population of Taconic, Kansas, or some college. As part of their college-making decisions, students have to look at all the aspects of college, like traveling. To get their furniture to school, students either have to buy from places that can be expensive or rent a truck, which can also be expensive, and both these options are practical. Tuition is another factor that is needed to be considered when looking at school. Out-of-state tuition is $16,000 more expensive than in-state, and the added cost of just one student could buy someone a car or be donated to help 44 kids in need. This cost, in addition to school supplies, living necessities, and traveling, can really limit who attends. An article published by Sunny New Journal of Research in Higher Education stated that it's the students from advantaged families that can afford these higher costs. This means that due to the high costs, our campus might not have as diverse a student body as it could. When going home for the summer, it's the students specifically that are far away that have difficulty figuring out what to do with their items. This means that this is because there are limited options. Students often throw away things because it's easier. I know I threw away a rug because I didn't know what to do with it and I couldn't just bring it home. It is not the most productive and can lead to wasting money or creating waste. And after looking at all these problems we stated, we believe that it is Jayhawk Thrift that is the solution.
Alright, so now that we've discussed the problems associated with campus waste, the cost of rising tuition, prices at stores where students typically buy their school supplies, and the inconvenience of attending a college from out of state, we're going to explain how we're going to use your grant money to start our thrift store to solve these problems.
Jayhawk Thrift would significantly reduce waste here at KU's campus. We know we can produce significant numbers because it's been done at similar universities. Let's look at a comparable idea called Trash to Treasure at University of New Hampshire. This group puts on a sale every August, comprised of items that were left over move-out the previous semester. As you can see, there's an incredible amount of items that they accumulated, and then once the sale starts, you'll see the amount of people that come in and buy these items. Since 2010, Trash to Treasure at New Hampshire has diverted 174 tons of waste from being put into landfills, and they've recycled it back into their own student body. And that's according to their Facebook page. Let's put that into perspective. According to National Geographic, the largest animal known to exist, the blue whale, can grow up to weigh 200 tons. That's roughly the same weight of waste that Trash to Treasure has reduced on New Hampshire's campus alone. These are numbers that we at Jayhawk Thrift would strive to reach and even surpass once we were established. Also, according to Trash to Treasure's Facebook page, they began their first year on $9,000. With a $25,000 grant, we could start faster and on a broader scale, ultimately leading to more waste reduced in a smaller amount of time. Not only would Jayhawk Thrift reduce a lot of waste here on KU's campus, but some financial issues would also see improvement.
So having a thrift store on campus would solve the problems of students not having cheap and affordable supplies on campus. At St. Lawrence University, they implemented a similar program called Reseller, and they were able to sell school supplies for anywhere from 10 to 50 cents. And realistically, looking at the success of the program there and at other schools, we can assume that at KU we would be able to offer similarly lower prices. And then just comparing again to other schools, the size of KU and the location of the thrift store on campus would make the store very successful. At Sacred Heart University, they implemented a similar program and made $2,000 within their first 5 months. And that's a school of only 6,000 students, whereas Kansas has 30,000 students. So we can assume that our profits would be significantly higher just because of the amount of students that we have. As well as at Western Michigan University, they reported that their program, that's very similar to what we're trying to do, was met with great enthusiasm from students and staff alike, which boosted campus morale, as well as at Santa Fe College, their similar program. Their profits were split between student programs and between a scholarship for students, and similarly our program would aim to funnel back into student programs and student activities, and eventually we could probably get to a point where we would be able to start putting money into a scholarship as well. And that all just boosts campus morale, and also on top of all that, the dorm room essentials that are not offered at the KU bookstore would be able to be offered on campus, and for significantly cheaper prices, because they would be acquired through donation and would not be being sold as new products. But on top of being able to solve for the problem of high prices for supplies, students would have their necessities be cheaper as well.
Having a KU thrift store will help college students be able to afford the rising cost of tuition. And it also help them lower price. It also help having lower prices on furniture. They'd be able to furnish their apartments easier, and they'd also be able to. They also be able to afford other college necessities that they might need. Colby Sawyer has an event every year where college students take stuff that they don't need at the end of the year, and they put them in a pile of trash, basically, and basically any student can come and take whatever they want for free and have that. This sale helped more than 20 truckloads of things that were going to go to the landfill, find a new home that a college student needed. It also helped students save money because they didn't have to furnish their apartments, or they didn't have to buy new clothes or buy books, supplies, or anything like that. KU students will be able to give back to the Jayhawk community. They'll be able to help incoming Jayhawks find things that they didn't know they needed. Like when I came to college, I didn't know that I would need a bunch of stuff to fill my dorm. I didn't know I was going to need, crates, chairs, just to be in my dorm. I thought I just needed a couch, a table, and a TV. But with the KU thrift store, they would be able to find stuff that they didn't know they needed for lower prices and without breaking the bank. Because KU will be only one of the few schools that does this, they'll be able to market it when new Jayhawks come and visit the campus. They'll be able to show them that this is a unique opportunity that KU offers, and that not everybody does this.
Having a KU campus thrift shop can make our campus more appealing and affordable to out-of-state students. New programs bring attention to schools, like take the new business building, Capitol Federal Hall. It gained attention from not only the Lawrence Business Magazine, but also Art Daily, which is a website for architecture students. This new program will gain attention from the media and help spread the word of our campus and make us more appealing to students in the state. This program will minimize transportation costs by supplying a cheaper option for students to purchase their items at a convenient place. Lowering the cost students pay allows us to become a better option for students hoping to increase enrollment. These lower costs can create a money-saving system so families can put their money towards the extra tuition costs. And KU Thrift will also be providing jobs to students so they can help them afford tuition. As mentioned before, the shop will serve as an easy way to get rid of furniture and be a local drop-off area for students. Middlebury College in Vermont opened up a thrift shop in 2011, and after only a year, they looked at expanding. A campus thrift shop has worked for others, and we believe that this is the solution we need.
Alright, so just to give you guys a summary, there's a lot of things we can fix here with this thrift store. We can reduce a lot of waste, similar to how USC has and University of Northern New Hampshire. Prices at the bookstore and comparable stores where students buy supplies are too high, and this thrift store will help less fortunate students be able to afford things that they drastically need, and it'll be more convenient because it'll be on campus. The cost of college is incredibly high, and anything that we can do to reduce some sort of costs for students will greatly reduce stress-related issues and boost campus morale as a whole. And on top of all of these things, it will greatly ease the move in and move out of students from out of state and hopefully increase our out of state enrollment. So, we believe KU will benefit from a student-exclusive thrift store, one where students can buy necessities donated by other fellow students who would otherwise be throwing them away. That'll be ran by students, with all of the proceeds going to keeping the store running and student programs similar to the bookstore. And so with your donation of your $25,000 grant, we can jumpstart KU Jayhawk Thrift and really start, get a location. We looked at the old bookstore up on Jayhawk Boulevard by Chi Omega. That's currently not being used. It's privately owned. We could use this money to pay rent there. And we really just want to get started so that we can start helping the university and students as a whole. So help us turn trash into treasure.
Anybody have any questions? About how much storage space do you think that you would need over the course of a year to store items that haven't been sold?
Over the course of a year, well, the goal is to store it briefly, like over the summer, from move-out day, and then we just have to store it for that time being, which could be the amount of time that it honestly takes to set everything up and get everything ready for a move-in sale in August. So it'd be a brief storage period. So we would hope that we could use the location, the bookstore up there, to store the items, because it is a decent size. There's no telling with how well it worked at smaller universities, there's no telling how quickly it would expand. So I think it'd be kind of a play-by-ear type of thing.
Yeah, and probably at the end of the semesters, that's when we get the most furniture and most books, book supplies, and that's when we'd have to use the most storage space. Yes.
Who would staff this?
Students.
So would they be volunteers or paid?
Okay.
So that would come out of the $25,000?
Well, initially, yes, but then once we started making money, some of the proceeds, the minimum amount that we would need would go towards paying rent in the location, paying the students that work there, paying the people that go and pick up the items.
Do you have any projections on what that would cost?
The Northern New Hampshire, they started with $9,000, and that covered all of their costs to start up. So we think we could definitely cover it with $25,000. We are a bigger university, so we think we would require a little bit more money, but we should be good with 25.
I've also seen from the schools I looked at, some of them started out with even lower startup costs. It just really depends.
Any other questions? Thank you.